Live from Brooklyn, New York, this is Stay Busy with Armon Sadler. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Stay Busy with Armon Sadler, where we have responsible discussions on the music business and the music culture. I am your host, head honcho, vegan chorizo poppy, the captain of the Munch Militia. I honestly, I'm gonna just stop the monikers there because I think that's more than enough. And obviously, you see the baldy is shining, as it always does. I'm very excited to be here with you listeners, so thank you for tapping back in for Season 4. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel for all visual episodes, YouTube shorts, past episodes, past busy sessions, or you can subscribe on your preferred audio platform. Leave a review, a like, a comment, share, tell your friends, engage with us on social media at StayBusyPod. If you want some exclusive content, the podcast OnlyFans, hit the Patreon, patreon.com/StayBusyPod. I want to give a big thank you to Yolanda Hosky for joining us to finish off Busy Black Businesses Month. But we are here for one of my favorite months that we have celebrated throughout our 4 seasons, Stay Busy Women's History Month, our 4th iteration of this, celebrating what I deem the backbone of music and entertainment, the women. They are the tastemakers, they are the hard workers, they are the organizers, they're the people that we need when we ain't doing shit right. And so we're here to celebrate that. And of course, I got to shout out the team. Nick Early in the building, executive producing at a high level, as only he does. Kieran Hurley, not here, but here with us in spirit, the VP of everything, the man that you cannot see, but you can feel. Siobhan DeShields, our VP of engagement and communication. With Women's History Month in mind, I want to give a special shout out to Siobhan for everything she is doing on the show. You are, like, I'm sure you listen, you're part of the team, but you are a gem to us. We appreciate you very much. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you for all that you will do and continue to do for us. And I hope that you are celebrated. Drink a lot this month. To take a day off, too. To take a day off. Days off are good. Take a day off. But the reason we are here, we're kicking Women's History Month off with what I deem a superstar. So it was 2020 when Drake dropped Tootsie Slide, and he had this one line. Obviously, you know, people made jokes about Tootsie Slide and all that, but he had this one line: if they're moving shaky, we'll just do this shit ourselves. That line stuck with me. It's something that I can relate to. In a music industry that has silenced women or objectified them, it is especially refreshing to see them push through barriers and establish themselves as voices that we need to hear. One of those people is today's guest, who's got a knack for identifying that good shit, the platform she founded a few years ago. You need a DJ? She got you. You need a playlist? She got you. You need a review? She got you. You want to go viral on TikTok? I don't know if she can do that for you, but she could probably give you some tips. But the sauce can't be replicated. Like, it's hers. You got to develop, put your own seasonings in, get your own sauce, all that. But this woman has emphasized uplifting the artists that may not get the recognition from all of these big platforms who all cover the same mainstream names, and her work has landed her in Forbes and Rolling Stone. Not to mention, she put her pen to paper recently for Pigeons and Planes. Here to talk all things women in music, curation, and content creation. Welcome to the Busyverse, Annabelle Kline.
Yay! Hi! Thank you for that intro. Oh my gosh, that was incredible.
No problem. It's what I do. It's what I do. But it was easy to. I mean, you have a lot to write about and introduce, and we're gonna get into a lot more. But it's pretty easy to write. You just go to your LinkedIn, go to your Instagram. It's all there.
It's all there. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing so good. How are you doing?
I'm well. Thank you for asking. You're probably like the 3rd or 4th guest who's asked me how I'm doing after I ask them, and it means a lot. It sticks with me.
Of course. Yeah. No. Of course. Got to make sure everyone in the room is feeling good. Got to have good energy in the room. Yeah.
Absolutely. How has Women's History Month been for you so far?
It's been lovely so far. I just feel like I have a lot of male friends, especially. Like, I moved to New York a year ago. Mm-hmm. And most of the friends I've been making have been men, which is great. But recently, especially in the last month, I've been meeting so many incredible women. So Women's History Month has really just started with me being surrounded by like so many loving female friends, and I'm seeing a lot of support for female artists around me. So I'm just feeling good.
Awesome. I can't wait to get into that. Before we do that, we got to jump into whether you like. So whether you like headphones in ear or over ear, Halloween or New Year's, albums or playlists, and tenacity or patience. So, are you an in-ear or an over-ear headphone person?
I am an over-ear headphone person till I die. Okay. I think they're kind of a cute accessory, and it just feels more cozy, and I feel like the noise canceling is better.
Facts. Yeah. I think when I'm like listening to music, I prefer over-ear. I just recently got some AirPod Pros that are in-ear, and it's good for like when I'm working out. They don't, fall out like the first generation AirPods. They get real sweaty and they'll fall out. Yeah. So in-ears feel a little more secure, but there's nothing like a good over-ear, feeling like an earmuff, just bumping like Beats Pros or whatever. So I feel that. Do you like Halloween more or New Year's?
That's a really tough one. I love both holidays because I feel like Halloween, I love dressing up and getting festive, but New Year's, like, I love the symbolic, like, rebirth of, like, a new year. Yeah. I'll probably go with Halloween, though. I think it's more fun to celebrate.
What were you for Halloween this past one?
What was I for Halloween this year? My boyfriend and I were we did Star Wars characters. He was a Jedi, and I was, what's her name? Padme. I was Padme.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Not too familiar with Star Wars, but I'm sure it was fire. You're gonna have to like send us a picture so we can splice it into the video so people can see what y'all were looking like.
It was a really fire costume.
Nice. Albums or playlists? Like, well, what are you listening to in your leisure time? I know you listen to a lot of music regularly.
Yeah. I would say albums just because I feel like it's a more intimate experience when it's like an album that an artist put together and it tells one particular story. It really depends on what mood I'm in. Like, you know me, like I love playlists. It's my whole thing, but I'd say albums.
Yeah, I find myself making playlists more for other people than for myself. Like, I don't really listen to a playlist often, or maybe in the gym, but most of my leisure time, I get on the bus to come to the city, put an album on, let it run through. If I don't finish it, I'll finish it on the way home. Because I don't know, I like the whole sequencing, the collection of intentional music that an artist made, rather than kind of going from one place to another in a playlist. But I mean, I try to sequence my playlist too, but albums are typically more intentional in that way. So yeah, I'm an album guy. Now, tenacity or patience? How do you approach life? Like, are you kind of patient? Did you kind of let the game come to you, or are you a go-getter? Like, you go get it?
I feel like I am so in the middle, but I feel like to me, patience is more important. A lot of the people that I look up to in music and just in life are all really good examples of patience and taking your time. And I'm a big believer in like slow, steady growth. Yeah. So although tenacity has been very important to my journey as a creative, as a leader, I feel like patience is going to be like the most important part of my journey as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. I can feel that. I find myself in the middle too. Like, I'm definitely a very tenacious person. I've chased pretty much every opportunity I've gotten, but some I wasn't ready for at the time, some weren't available at the time, so you have to be patient for certain things. So I agree. Yeah, I'm if you could combine those words, what would it be like? Tensions? Penacity.
Penacity. Yeah.
That might be the title of the episode, Penacity.
Penacity. I'm with that.
I like it. Awesome. Awesome. Can you give us a fit check? Now, like I said, when you I stalked the Instagram, I saw you're into a lot of, premium luxury fashion brands, the Telfar bag you came in with. Like, let the streets know what you got on.
I got the Uniqlo fit on today. We've got some like Uniqlo dark denim, the Nike Lahars on the feet, my favorite shoe right now, and also the Uniqlo fleece, purple.
Cozy.
I just got my birthday nails done because it's my birthday next week.
All right.
So I got the nails and I got my That Good Shit ring on. Very important.
You got rings. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I got on today.
Nice. Awesome. Let's jump into this chat. So this isn't necessarily music related, but I wanted to talk about it because I felt like as creators and people who have risen within what we do, like, this is something that we can relate to. So Michael B. Jordan is on the red carpet at the Creed 3 premiere, and he runs into this interviewer who he actually went to high school with, and she asks him some question, and he says like, oh, something about like, am I still corny or something? And for context, for those who aren't familiar, the interviewer, her name was Laurel. She went on some podcast, and the person that she was talking to, Dominique the Diva, had called Michael B. Jordan corny, a very nice corny guy. They were talking about his relationship with Lori Harvey. So he remembered that. And so he runs into this woman, and he brings up how she called him corny. And she was like, "Oh no, you're misquoting me." He was like, "No, I heard it." And then they kind of just finished the interview. Like things kind of went fine. But the internet went ablaze about it. Like some people thought he was being rude to her. Some people thought he was justified in how he felt. Like were you aware of that situation? Well, what did you think about the whole corny Michael B. Jordan discourse?
I was aware of it. I didn't think I think people on the internet love taking any moment and just like making a whole entire thing out of it and everyone choosing sides. So when I actually like went and did my research and saw what happened, I was like, I feel like this is a very small deal. It's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
I mean, on one hand, if you're gonna go on a podcast and call someone corny, like you have to be ready for them to like pull out the receipts and be like, you called me corny. But also, Michael B. Jordan is one of the most famous people in the world. He gets a lot of criticisms, I'm sure, and I'm sure there's a lot of people on a lot of podcasts talking shit about Michael B. Jordan. So I think it was like a funny moment. I think the internet just made it way more than it needed to be.
Yeah, people were like spilling out their whole lives like, oh, people called me corny in high school. I remember that. I'm hanging on to that. And, you know, I think that really speaks to them and kind of you have to like move on from that. Like I know for me personally, when I was in high school, like there were people who didn't treat me the best. And I've actually had conversations with some of them recently where they've like apologized to me for bullying me in high school. And I was like, well, you didn't have to do that. But like, thank you for growing up and kind of acknowledging that. Like a lot of us in high school, whether it was our mindsets, things we did to people, like we weren't our best selves in high school. We're going through puberty, we're growing, we're trying to figure out college and pimples and shit. Like we're just dealing with a lot of different shit. So like, you know, like we're not our best selves, but like the projection from people on the internet about the situation was kind of a bit too much. Like I don't think you should be holding on. And granted, some people go through some traumatic shit in high school, and that stuff sticks with you. Like for me personally, and I'm kind of joking, but I'm kind of serious. I didn't get any superlatives in my high school yearbook, and I was pretty pissed about that. I played sports. I was in the chorus. I was pretty cool. I was like, I can't get best personality or funny or something like that, but I don't care that much. Maybe. But like besides that, it's like and I'm only speaking for myself, but like I don't really hold on to things like that because I don't know, it's just weird to move through life thinking about your haters or your naysayers. And while it's natural, it's just like that's kind of the wrong fuel to put into yourself. Like I'm not doing what I do to shit on people I went to high school with, but I do what I do because I love it. And so holding on to that stuff and letting it be a battery in your back was just like it was a really weird part of this discourse. Like it went on too long. It was like a week of this conversation. I was like, yo, are y'all serious? Like Joe Budden like had a whole rant about him and everyone was saying he was mistreating the woman. Like he was joking with her, to be honest, from what I saw. So.
Yeah, he was just being silly. I mean, bullying is a super real thing. And you know, who knows, like Michael B. Jordan maybe like had issues with bullying in school that like we didn't know about, and that might have like struck a chord with him that, you know, we're not aware of. But, you know, again, I just think it was made way bigger of a deal than it needed to be. It was kind of silly. And I mean, like, maybe, like, corny doesn't have to be, like, the meanest thing. Like, what was the context in which, like, they really meant corny? Like, I don't know. Yeah.
So, I don't know. Yeah, like discourse is it's just too much. Like find something to do. Go outside. I promise you, if you go to like a bar, no one's talking about this thing.
Literally, worry about your own life. Also, like the news does not need to be covering this. Like this is not the most important thing. But yeah, I mean, if you're gonna talk shit about someone on a podcast or call them something and they pull the receipts on you, don't be surprised.
Be ready for that. You got to. Metro Boomin sold a portion of his publishing catalog for $70 million to Shamrock Capital. We know Shamrock Capital because they own Taylor Swift's Big Machine. And we've been seeing a lot of different people selling their catalogs recently. Future sold his catalog, Justin Bieber, Dr. Dre, and there's like a lot of discourse around it. I don't really think it's that complicated. Like ultimately, these people who are still active within their careers are going to be making more music. But if there's a bag to make right now, sell that catalog and get that money. Like I don't really think there's more to it.
No, literally, like they put in all of this work to create that music, build their whole empire of what they've got, and then they're able to make money that they can live off of forever from that. Like, do that. And it's also like, it's not like these artists aren't ever making music again. Like you said, like they're going to keep making music and building their catalog. So if they've got like, Future has so much music, Justin Bieber has like a lifetime's worth of music. If you want to sell that and make a huge bag, do that. And for Metro Boomin, like he's put in so much work to get where he's at. Like especially that last album, like he's cemented himself as a legend. And so if he is going to sell his catalog and get like a lifetime supply of money for that, like that is within his right. Good for him.
Yeah, it's like there's two sides to it. You can own your masters and pass that down to your family, your kids, your grandkids. They can make, or you can make a big bag now and do things with it now. So I like people like this who have reached points in their career. There's really no bad direction to go. So yeah, salute Metro for everything he's done. My professional friend Metro, who I've interviewed.
Flex.
Yeah, slight. I mean, it's not JID or Smino like you, but you know, it's pretty cool.
Metro Boomin's so great, man.
Yeah.
I've been listening to Metro. Like I grew up listening to like Metro produced beats, and especially that last album. Like I remember seeing the album trailer and just being like so blown away.
The rollout was amazing,
bro. The fire coming out of it was so cool. So yeah, good for him. Like and it's not like his catalog is the only way he makes money.
Exactly.
You know, like so there's a lot of other ways for him to make money. So get
he's
your bag,
been
Metro
in
Boomin.
commercials and stuff. Like he's Metro's out here. He's a Swiss Army knife, so yeah, very happy for him. Brent Faiyaz doing it for the ladies. So he and his team are giving away $10,000 grants to 10 black women who own businesses. To give you some details on this, to enter, you have to create a 1-minute video explaining what your business or startup is by answering the following questions. 1, what is your business or startup? Who does your business serve? What is a challenge your business has had to overcome in the past? How will the Show You Off grant, which the grant is called, help you get started or scale up your business? So I think this is great. Obviously a lot of these people can get to positions that they're in and really focus on themselves. And Brent, despite what people think about his content, he's always done things for the ladies. Like I remember my friend Kemet interviewed him, and like Brent's listening party, it was like only women, and he had like them getting pampered and getting massages and stuff like that. Like he very much so caters and treats women well, despite what his content has, the label his content has given him. So I just thought this was really cool. I just wanted to highlight it.
Yeah. I think it's so amazing, like especially for Women's History Month is the great thing to be doing, but specifically supporting like black women who, there are so many barriers for black women to, you know, get where they want to go starting a business as compared to like white women. And, you know, I'm just think it's a really great thing to be doing. And I think I'm excited to see who wins the grants and how that money can help bring some really amazing ideas into the world. You know, like all of the incredible black women in my life are like so creative, so innovative, and I'm just excited to see like all of the new ideas that are brought into the world because of these grants. So shout out Brent Faiyaz for caring about the women. Like
Absolutely.
It's beautiful.
Absolutely. More things to celebrate. De La Soul's back catalog has been added to streaming. It was added on March 3rd, coincidentally the 34th anniversary of their debut album, 3 Feet High and Rising. 6 albums in total have been added to streaming platforms. And this is like, it's a bittersweet time for them. They just lost Trugoy in February. He was having heart failure issues over the last few years. So, you know, while they're mourning the loss of someone, they're celebrating the fact that they're free. You know, they had some issues with Tommy Boy Records. They really try to do them dirty with the business, take most of the profits from their music. And so for a while, they obviously couldn't put their stuff on streaming. But De La Soul is free. Their music is free to listen to. So that's a really exciting time. We've seen, you know, the music business can be very predatory. A lot of these older artists were signed young and signed to shitty deals and then trapped within them and fighting, you know, to get their music out, to put new music out, to just be free. So love to see this, especially for a legendary group like them. And hopefully, you know, like all these other music industry execs who have people in these very fucked up deals can maybe get inspired and, you know, like do right by people.
I sure hope so. And I'm excited for all the people that may not have listened to De La Soul that much before it's been on streaming. Like I've never been like a huge De La Soul listener except for like the more popular songs.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to delve into them more deeply now. I also saw a tweet earlier that's like, y'all are excited about De La Soul putting their stuff on streaming and getting like 0.00003 cents per stream and stuff like that. So there's that side of it as well.
Yeah.
Which is a whole other conversation. But I'm really excited about it. Like super, super excited for them and for all the hip hop fans that are eating right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the day it was up, like all the Instagram stories I was scrolling through, like seeing people put their Spotify, sharing it to their stories, stuff like that. So it's like cool. Like streaming is a convenience. Like that's the exciting thing about like when Lil Wayne puts a mixtape up on streaming, or one of those SoundCloud Lucy's goes up on streaming. It's just like these are the apps that a lot of us use the most. So now you can just access it easier.
Yeah.
The money thing, like you said, a whole other conversation. But just being able to access music that you love, and the fact that they wanted it there but they couldn't do it, it means a lot to them. So very happy to see that. Speaking of streaming and the power of it, the Weeknd Starboy is back in the top 10 of the Billboard 200. Now, Weeknd Starboy dropped in 2016, November 2016. I remember where I was. It was a big topic of conversation in the chapter. Nick is looking at me right now. Like, we used to argue about the Weeknd Starboy, him doing pop, all that. But a almost 7-year album, almost 7-year-old album, is in the top 10 of the Billboard 200. And he just recently dropped the Die For You remix with Ariana Grande. That was going crazy on TikTok. So, again, the power of these apps and streaming, the fact that you can remix a song that's almost 7 years old, and that can push your album back to the top 10 of the Billboard 200. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
it's the power of the apps, and it's the power of Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
Like, all of my friends who are Ariana Grande stans, which, like, I feel like the entire world is, like, we're definitely a huge reason why this happened as well. Like, Ariana Grande is just such an incredible talent. I love her so much. Like, I'm not a huge pop listener, but Ariana Grande is just, like, so special. And The Weeknd is just, like, he's, like, one of the biggest superstars, like, in the whole world. And so I'm just so excited to see where he's at now, and even seeing, like, such an old like song resurface and be back at the top. Like, I remember when The Weeknd like first dropped, like I was in high school, and just seeing how he's grown now has been really crazy. And this song is like, this remix is gonna be playing in like every shopping mall, every store, every radio station, like for the foreseeable future. And I'm here for it because I'm still not tired of that song.
Nah, it was what's one of my favorite Weeknd songs he's ever made. For years, like the SZA remix to that was getting teased, so I think people were disappointed that it was Ariana and not SZA, but Ariana did her thing on it. Like, it's a really good verse. She's an amazing singer. Like, she's not gonna really make a bad song or not sing well. So I really enjoyed it. Speaking of The Weeknd, I want to ask, since you're here and you brought up old Weeknd, like, how do you feel Trilogy has aged over? It's been out for like what, 11, 12 years now. Like, how do you feel like Trilogy has aged?
I feel like it's aged beautifully. I feel like we've all lived so many experiences with it now, so just being able to listen to it and have it feel nostalgic is really cool. Like, I remember listening to Trilogy for the first time and it just feeling like super like dangerous and like edgy. And now just listening back to it and just seeing how like, I feel like I appreciate that style a lot more because it's before The Weeknd went more down like the poppy route. So yeah, I think it's aged like fine wine. I still listen to it all the time. It's like such a special project.
Do you like The Weeknd evolving into a poppy guy? You can be honest.
I like that for him, and I like that for like, he deserves it. I don't listen to The Weeknd nearly as much as I used to.
Oh wow.
Just because I feel like I hear him all out and about everywhere, and I'm just like, again, not a huge like more pop listener.
Gotcha.
But I love that for him. Like, he worked really hard to get there. He's super talented. His voice is so unique, and I love like the world building aspects of all of his stuff. Like the Dawn FM album and the way that was put together was super cool. So like, huge fan and admirer. I don't personally listen as much as I used to though.
Gotcha. Okay. I respect that. It's like a debate I get into with people a lot. A lot of people, Trilogy is their holy grail for him. It's the darker, druggy, more woozy stuff, and his new music is a bit brighter and obviously like more 80s dance type stuff. And some people, just don't like that, which I get. I like the evolution a lot. Dawn FM was my favorite album of the year last year. So I'm always curious, like, people who are in music and work with artists, like, what's your perspective on, are you a Trilogy Weeknd fan, or are you a Dawn FM, After Hours, Starboy Weeknd fan? So let's jump into some new music. So one of my favorite artists, I am not afraid to be biased about this. I love this man. Black dropped a single, Since I Have a Lover. It is the title track for his album, Since I Have a Lover, coming out March 24th. How'd you feel about Since I Have a Lover?
I really, really loved it. I was listening to it on my bike on the way over here, like really beautiful soundtrack music.
Yeah.
I feel like this album is gonna be something really special. I could just tell he poured his heart into it.
Yeah.
He was really singing. And I'm just so excited to see him make his return. I've been listening to Black since like the very beginning and I missed him. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I love that you said soundtrack music because literally as I was walking to work playing it, just looking up at all the tall New York City buildings, I was like, this feels like one of those songs where you're like walking, like let's say you are walking, like someone's walking to a big job interview and you're just like, I feel like you would just hear this as someone is walking through a movie. But yeah, I love when Black does upbeat stuff. A lot of people have tried to pigeonhole him into the sad boy, mellow type stuff, and he's been working on like music theory and instrumentation over the years. And obviously, he took a long break since East Atlanta Love Letter, and with this song, it's like, okay, you're coming back with something different. Like you went away for a while, and he wasn't fully away. He was doing a lot of features, and he gave us 6-Piece Hot in 2020. But like this album, and I've heard it early. It's really good. It's really good. It's very, very good, and he's really evolving the sound. I love the writing here. I mean, obviously, Nick and I have debated this a lot, whether he's a rapper or an R&B singer, and I love that he fuses his rap flows within his crooning. But since I Have a Lover, like it really doesn't sound like anything he's ever made before.
Yeah.
Like I know he had that song Seasons with Khalid that maybe is comparable, but this one, like the instrumentation and the tempo of it, the cadences, all that, like it's different. It's different. Like it's something that I can see transcending what I would think his fan base is. Like I think he's very rooted within hip hop and R&B, but I think this is something that can really transcend to other fans of other genres. So I'm really excited for the album, for everyone to hear the album. I love it. I absolutely love it. I've listened to it every day since I happened to come upon it. But yeah, Black he's that guy. He's that guy. I really think he's one of like the top acts within this era of R&B, hip hop fusion, whatever you want to call it. Like I really think he's one of the best, writing wise.
Yeah.
Everything. Like he kills all his features. So
Yeah, he's definitely one of the ones. Also, I feel like the way that song ended, like the outro of it, I know the transition into the next song is gonna go crazy. Like I feel like there's a lot of cool transitions in this album.
There are.
Yeah, I love that. Like good transitions throughout albums is like candy to me.
Yeah. So I love that he took his time with it because you can absolutely tell with the attention to detail. So yeah, Nicki Minaj dropped Ruby Da Sleaze, and we were talking about this off camera, like just as soon as you play it, immediately recognize the sample. Lumi D's Never Leave You. You feel like you're transported to 2003, and you're just like, But it's just like, it's one of those songs that's gonna go on forever. Like it's kind of like Wayne Wonder, No Letting Go. Like you hear it at a party, and you're just like, yes, like it's forever. This is timeless. It's absolutely timeless. But the way Nicki flipped it and turned it into something where she could really get her gritty flex bars off. Like I thought it was a really great song. Like this is probably the best song I've heard from Nicki in quite some time, to be honest.
I really enjoyed it. I feel like I just love hearing Nicki go in with the power like automatically, especially over an iconic sample. Like she's been getting into that bag recently, like super Nicki girl also.
Yeah.
So I definitely really enjoyed the sound of it. I have my like opinions about Nicki Minaj, but strictly just speaking about like the vibe of this song and how it made me feel, like I'm definitely excited to just like bump this around my house, like on the treadmill. It's just it's Nicki Minaj like doing what she does best.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't want to say it, I will. Throwing shots at Meg Thee Stallion at this point, very weird.
Very weird.
No need for that. Like
absolutely unnecessary.
And that's Nicki's kind of her own worst enemy in that way. Like she gets caught up in the drama and the spiciness and all that. But like, and it didn't take away from the song. I really like the song. I'm just like, why? Like, why'd you have to throw that shot at Meg? Like,
someone's feeling.
It just doesn't
threatened.
make sense to me. And then comparing herself to Karl Malone, the very problematic NBA player who's had inappropriate relationships with underage women. Like there's other similes and metaphors you could find. Like if you know basketball, you compare yourself to any other player. But Nicki's Nicki. She's gonna sneak in some pettiness, some spiciness, and she's gonna stand 10 toes on her problematic lines. But like I said, Ruby Da Sleaze, really great record. Like I've definitely been listening to it, even if those few lines I'm kind of roll my eyes at it. You just you roll your eyes at it.
We're just gonna like not listen to that part and then just like listen to the rest of the song.
Yeah. J Hope and J Cole On the street. Now I'll be honest, and I don't want BTS stans or anyone to jump me. Like I really don't listen to K-pop at all. I got familiar with J-Hope this summer because he dropped his own solo album, and so seeing J. Cole jump on a K-pop artist song, I was like, holy shit! Like, all right, Cole, like this is a big move. I can't think of any big rappers who have done this before Cole jumped with K-pop artists. So I'm like, all right, shit, Cole, like this is really dope. And feature versus J. Cole, as we know, like he goes crazy on his features. And so this song felt like it's like a really inspirational song, like almost like a coming of age type of song. Like, I don't know, something that I hear and I want to like achieve something. Like I want to do something. And I love that J-Hope rapped in like both English and Korean as well, and then Cole coming in and talking his shit. Like I think he threw a shot at Billboard and Vibe, saying like, if there's a top 10 list, I'm looking at it like a golden corral. I understand, Cole. I would have ranked you higher if it was me, but I love hearing Cole talking shit. Like that's the most enjoyable part. I think Wango, I don't know if you know Wango Khan, but he tweeted one day, he was like, I love when Cole raps like he's not broke. Like, to talk about the money you got, like, talk your shit, flex, Cole. And so I really like the record.
Definitely. I also, I don't ever listen to K-pop, but I thought it was cool. Like, I definitely love seeing the blending of the worlds because, K-pop globally is, like, the biggest thing ever.
Massive.
It's massive. And so to see someone like J. Cole hopping on a song with like a prominent K-pop artist is really exciting. I definitely agree. Like feature Cole, like he comes in and he does what he needs to do.
Every
and I
time.
love hearing Cole like I couldn't agree more with you. Like I love hearing Cole talk his shit. And I don't know if it's like a song that I'm gonna be like putting on my rotation regularly just because again, like I'm not a huge K-pop listener.
Yeah.
But like I love that for J. Cole. I love that for the K-pop stans and for the percentage of the population that are K-pop and J. Cole stans. Like this is really like this is like the Avengers coming together for them.
Yeah, especially because like J-Hope looked up to Cole his whole career. Like I think Jordan Rose at Complex did an article where like BTS named one of their albums after Friday Night Lights, and then like J-Hope named a song after something to do with Cole. Like there's a whole timeline of like their relationship, and then they met and then they did the record together. So I know that was huge for J-Hope, and like he's huge as is, J. Cole is huge as is, so coming together, it's like when they did the Jimmy Neutron to Timmy Turner collab on Nickelodeon.
Literally, like the That's So Raven Hannah Montana crossover,
yes,
like crazy crossover
yes,
episode.
Exactly. Like it's just like wow. Like my friend Regina Cho, she was thrilled about it because she's Korean and she's a huge J. Cole fan. So she's like, what the fuck? Like Cole being the first rapper to do a record with a K-pop artist, like it's just dope on so many levels. Like this is the really dope shit about music is seeing your favorite artists do other things that you like not just sticking to one thing. Like when Drake did Honestly Nevermind, I love that because I grew up loving that type of music.
You loved Honestly Nevermind?
Uh-oh.
No, I'm like excited about that because
I was about to say
no,
Annabelle.
I'm not coming for you right now. I feel seen. Like people are bullying the hell out of me for loving Honestly Nevermind, and I love that album.
Okay, cool. This is why we're here. We're here. I think it's an A name thing. Like we're just the best because we're at the top of the list.
We are.
The alphabet. But Honestly Nevermind is fantastic. What are your favorite songs on there?
I really love Sticky. I really love Massive and Flights Booked.
Flights Booked is fantastic.
Flights Booked is so good. Like, and I was making the best summer memories to that album, so it also has like such deep value to me, like with the memories it's attached to.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it being a surprise project, Drake going in that direction. Like, I can praise Honestly Nevermind on and on and on. But I tell my girl all the time, like, we drove down to Jersey Shore during the summer and we played that album the whole way and just singing along to it, like looking at each other, being all romantic. Like,
no, that's so
beautiful.
Like, I was falling in love this summer too. Like, me and my boyfriend were on like one of those electric scooters in LA, like listening to Flights Booked in our headphones. And you're
actually in California. Like, wow.
Yeah, like we just got off the flight. I'm like, oh, it's like definitely like a falling in love in the summer type album.
You know what? We're here.
We're so connected right now. I see you. Yeah.
We're here. And lastly, Don Toliver, Lovesick. Like, how do you feel about Don Toliver as a whole?
I like Don Toliver. I feel like I've never been one to like really dive into his discography. He has a couple songs that I really, really love.
Yeah.
And I think like his ability to make music that is very spacey and like psychedelic feeling is really unique. I love the song with Justin Bieber is what I'm hearing the most talk about. So like Justin Bieber getting back into like his journals sound was I'm like a day one Justin Bieber fan.
Me too. I'm not gonna front. I had Bieber fever coming up. I did. I had Bieber fever.
I'm
I'm not ashamed to say it.
Yeah, big Bieber fever. I'm in
Yeah.
the Justin Bieber movie, the Never Say Never movie.
You're
like
in it?
Yeah, I was interviewed at a concert.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I have like the lore, like with me and Justin Bieber, but I really enjoyed that track.
Wow.
On the Toliver album. I think in general, like the features he had were crazy. He had like Toro y Moi, Tizo Touchdown, Tisa Korean. Like he really had a really great James Blake,
Brent Faiyaz.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's a really expansive album. Like he's taking it in a different direction. I think it would be easy to pigeonhole him because he's under Travis. And granted, like they're both very versatile, but similar to you, like I love that he really tried a lot. Like Bus Stop with Brent kind of had like a Jersey club feel to it, Baltimore type bounce to it, and then Private Landing with Future is just like more of your like trap rap type track, but still dope. And hearing Future in that pocket, and Bieber stepping back into the bag that we love him in, and the Tizo Touchdown song is actually probably my favorite song from the project right now.
It is a great song. I really love it. I think like Tizo and Don Toliver I didn't really expect it, but it makes a lot of sense now that I've heard it.
Yeah, absolutely. So while I don't know if I would say this is better than like Heaven or Hell from 2020, I think it is better than Life of a Don from last year. But like I think that still the expansion I'm seeing, it feels intentional. And yeah, it's a pretty easy straight through listen. The deluxe put it at 20 songs total, which is kind of just, I think at this point we just accept like we're getting 20 song albums, and you pick out what you like. But Don is really good at what he does, and he's continuing to kind of hone that ability. So I've been listening to Lovesick a lot. I think it's probably my favorite album of the year so far, that and the Lil Yachty project. But yeah, I really enjoyed Lovesick. So speaking of music, let's jump into the slide deck. You can put your headphones on, and I saw on the That Good Shit LinkedIn that you all are the #1 Frank Ocean fan.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that you were going to like what our little song break is before we get into the slide deck. All right. So we have our first slide deck of Women's History Month. Annabelle, what did you bring for us to play?
I brought you an amazing song by Liv. I think it was Ghost that I sent. Yeah, it's off her new album, Girl in the Half Pearl. Liv is like my favorite artist of the last couple years, and I think it's just such a cool song.
Cool. All right, let's hear it. Right, and that was Ghost by Liv. That was dope. I like that. I was wondering where she was gonna take me.
Yeah.
The progression of it was really dope.
Yeah.
It's like chaotic, but in a good way.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
100%. It kind of sounds like all hell is breaking loose.
Yeah.
And then she has like, as a huge like fan and listener of Liv, knowing how peaceful her voice can sound, it sounds so crazy when she starts like screaming and just going insane. And the song also sounds really beautiful in the context of the whole album. But yeah, I love her so much.
And this was self-produced too.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's okay. Great. I got to listen to the album because I definitely want to hear like what precedes it, what comes after Ghost. But that was dope. I love that. I've always been like a fan of other, like obviously rap and R&B are like my loves, but I was listening to alternative growing up and screamo and emo and stuff like that, and there were a lot of different elements within that song that I love. Like the musicality of it I thought was great too, like the piano coming in at the end was great. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. That was Ghost by Liv, produced by Liv. My song, I brought a song by the name of Greens. This is by Mel, and this is featuring Kai Cash, and it is produced by Don Julio Ortiz. So let's jump into Greens.
Want you to spend it all right now. Cause who said that love don't cost a thing? Either you got it or you don't. All I wanna know is, are you gon' spend it or not? I feel it when you spend it. Who said that love don't cost a thing? Either you got it or you don't. You don't. Are you gon' spend it or not? You never met a girl like me. Had you open instantly. Make you give it all to me. Your energy, your currency. I need it all, I charge a fee. You say you bought and throw some deep fence and throw some money at it. If you really got the means, then it ain't a problem. If you really about your greens, then show me you got it. If you really got the keys, go ahead and drive it. Actions are louder than words now. Show me how far you go right now. Want you to spend it all right now. Cause who said that love don't cost a thing? Either you got it or you don't. All I wanna know is, are you gon' spend it or not? I feel it when you spend it. Who said that love don't cost a thing? Either you got it or you don't. You don't. Are you gon' spend it or not? Gucci, Prada, Bowman. Been until it's all mine. Throw it on me all night until the sun shine bright. You said you never had it feel so tight. You said you never had it feel so right. If you really tryna love me right, you should spend a bag tonight. Let's catch a flight. Catch a flight. If you wanna catch my vibe, the feeling's not fun. You shouldn't.
Yeah. So let me guess, it's my time and my money you need. I see it clear, but you sound dumb to me. Just being real, cause if I fuck with you deeply, them bags in that brand new Dior, that release could be yours. Make it easy, but you insist. Pressing about what you could get. I can't even remember your first name. I'm like, who is this? Told you it was tight, it was right, but your vibe wasn't. Why would I give you all I got? You don't provide nothing. Cool. And love don't cost, that's a cheap date. Got me fucked up, might have to leave you on a freeway. Knew you for like 3 days and shit ain't get no better, but I bet all the money that you act just like every bitch I met, for real.
Want you to spend it all right now. Cause who said that love?
All right, and that was Greens by Mel featuring Kai Cash, produced by Don Julio Ortiz. How'd you like Greens?
I really enjoyed that.
Good.
I thought it was kind of funny because she's just like, who said love don't cost a thing? Buy me nice shit. And I love that for her. Like, I really enjoyed that. She has a beautiful voice.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. I met Mel a couple months ago, sweetheart. I know she's been working hard. Kojo actually manages her, so shout out to Kojo. He A&R'd that record, mixed by Kev and Preach. Engineered it, but yeah, she did like a whole Instagram live talking about how she's trying to manifest a man with money, and it's like, you know, like you don't want a broke partner, like you want somebody with some money, so it's fine. And it's Women's History Month, so like spend some money on Mel. Like she wants the greens, but yeah, I think she sings really well as well. I love more up tempo R&B. We talk about this on the show all the time. Like I love R&B to death, and a lot of it kind of feels the same these days. So when you get an artist who prioritizes something that you can play in a social setting that'll kind of get you moving, it just, I love it. And so this is something like I've seen it played at brunches and different events and stuff. And yeah, I think it's great. And Kai Cash, the feature artist on there, great pocket for him to rap on. So yeah, really enjoyed Greens a lot. So shout out to Mel, shout out to Kai Cash, Kojo, the whole team. And if you listeners, if you want to hear these slides and previous slides, you can hit the Stay Busy Slide Deck playlist on all streaming platforms. And if you want to send us one, whether you're an artist or a fan who wants to put us on to some music, hit us at StayBusyPod on Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok, or email us at StayBusyPod@gmail.com. You can take your headphones off now. All right, now let's get into you. Where did you grow up? Like, I know you went to University of Oregon, but you're probably not. Are you from Oregon?
I'm not from Oregon.
Where are you from?
I'm from the Los Angeles area.
Oh, nice.
So my parents lived in like 2 separate places. So I grew up between Santa Clarita, California, and Ventura, California. So
Okay.
like the suburbs and the beach.
Nice.
And then I went to high school like around the valley, and I was always like in LA doing stuff.
Okay. And what was 5-year-old Annabelle doing? What did she want to be when she grew up?
5-year-old Annabelle, I think that was when I either wanted to be Hannah Montana or I wanted to be an astronaut. I had a lot of like really big like dreams of what I wanted to be when I grew up, but I genuinely wanted to be Hannah Montana. Like I was trying to convince my parents to like buy a stage for me to like put in my house and perform on. So yeah, or astronaut.
Did you like play instruments or sing, or you just kind of watched her on TV and you were like, I just want to be that?
I was always like really into singing when I was a kid. I was always like putting on concerts in my room, and I had a ukulele that I like tried to play, but I couldn't coherently play. When I got a little older, I learned how to play piano. Yeah.
Gotcha. And as you navigated through like middle school and high school, getting older, kind of learning yourself a bit more, like around when did you know you wanted to go into music in some form or fashion beyond being Hannah Montana?
It is such a complicated story because like I was a music fan since I was a kid, and as I grew older I became more and more of a music nerd and music lover, and I always, especially when I would go to concerts, I felt this like deep craving in my soul of like I want to get as close to this music as I can. Like I want to be the person behind the scenes. Like I would always fight to get to the front of the pit to like feel close to the musicians, but I never actually pursued going into the music industry. Like when I went to college, I kind of gave up on my dream of working in music because I was just like, I don't make music, I don't have the experience. And so I got a degree in something entirely different. Like I did a degree in environmental studies and philosophy, and I was going to go to law school and do environmental justice work. And then I accidentally became part of the music industry when I started making TikToks about music as a fan.
Right.
But it all like clicked for me because that was really my dream. And I like about a year before I got into music, I was having an existential crisis that I gave up my dream of working in music and that I would never be able to make it happen. And then the universe made it happen anyway.
Yeah.
So that's my answer to that question.
You mentioned concerts. Do you remember the first concert you went to?
The first concert I ever went to was Jimmy Buffett
Okay.
with my dad.
Nice.
And I had like a balloon parrot hat. And I don't really remember much of it, but like I grew up with the dad who was like a surfer, and so we were always listening to like the Beach Boys and Jimmy Buffett. So Jimmy Buffett was my first concert.
Gotcha. And what made you want to start like making music content on TikTok? And like what were you doing at first? Like were you doing the reviews? Like how did your path begin on TikTok?
Yeah, so like all of us, I started making TikToks when we all got shut down for quarantine in 2020 because I had nothing else to do. And like my first like moment of TikToks was just like me doing stupid TikTok dances with my roommates. I made a couple like ranking my favorite Frank Ocean songs and stuff like that for fun. But the first TikTok I made that was music related that really went off was one night when I got really high with my roommates, and I made a TikTok that was like what his favorite rapper says about him, because we were joking about how you can like generalize men based off of what music they listen to. And that was the first video that really went up. So I did, I think, like a 20-part series of what his favorite rapper says about him. And then from there, it kind of branched out to like more playlist related stuff, like recommending artists, talking about favorite songs from different artists that I listen to. So that's how it all got started.
Yeah, I saw you did like a variation of that with Earth Gang, like what your favorite Ghetto God song says about you. So it's cool that you found some continuity and way to like evolve beyond that. But I kind of want to play a game with that concept in mind. Like I'm gonna throw out some artist names, and like on the spot, you're gonna tell me like what that person's favorite artist says about them. So Lucky Day, we got a Lucky Day fan in the room. So what is a guy's favorite artist being Lucky Day say about them?
Lucky Day fans always smell good.
That checks out. That checks out.
They know how to accessorize.
Yeah.
And they probably like are really into skincare.
I
like,
think that
self-care.
checks out too. All right, she's 3 for 3.
Yeah.
All right, let's go Miguel.
Miguel, they're like they flirt to the point where it's a little corny.
Oh.
Like, they just put their toe over the line a little too much sometimes.
That's insightful.
Yeah. But they mean well. Like,
Okay.
they're not like creepy. They're just like, they just flirt to the point where it's a little like cringy.
Gotcha. Okay. How about Black?
Black. They make silent moves. They're just like introverted. They stay inside. But like every time they speak, they say something like weirdly deep and insightful. And they're good people. They're nice and they respect women.
Okay. Nice. J. Cole?
J. Cole, he's on therapy TikTok. Like his For You page is a lot of like TikTok therapists. And J. Cole fans let everyone know they're J. Cole fans.
They do.
Like their entire Twitter feed is all like J. Cole stuff. They're definitely like heavy on rap talk as well. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Good to hear. But so yes, you start making TikTok content, you start going crazy with it, you're evolving it, and you decide to make that good shit in 2020, correct?
Yeah.
2020.
I started making TikToks in 2020. That good shit was started like at the very top of 2021.
Gotcha. Okay. And what made you want to take it from just something you were doing that you were gaining a following to like making it a platform, a recognized platform, and eventually like using it to uplift other people?
Yeah, I think so. I had been toying around with making like a music Instagram before I even started making TikToks. I made this Instagram called Playlist, and I was just posting like weekly playlists, and then it kind of died off. But once my TikTok started picking up at the end of 2020, it turns into the beginning of 2021, and a lot of people on TikTok are asking me to make them playlists to the point where I'm like, I could start charging for this, so why don't I start a business? And then I was thinking of a name for like the Instagram for this playlist business, and I was with my sister, and we were just trying to think like, how do I characterize the music I listen to? Because like I really only listen to just like good shit.
Yeah.
And then we looked at each other and we were like, that good shit.
Boom.
And it all made sense. So that's how it started, was like as a custom playlist curation business. And then it also kind of became a blog over time. I was just posting about the music I liked.
Yeah.
And I've always been like a fan of listening to more like underground artists. So once I started posting smaller artists, people realized that it was also a platform for uplifting cool musicians.
Absolutely. Now, putting the business aspect on something that you were doing for fun, like how has that changed it? Has it, because I know like a lot of people say your hobby is like, don't try to commercialize them, just keep them as hobbies. But what you were doing was something that could change people's lives and people's careers. So like it made sense to make it into a business. Like have you noticed things have changed, things that maybe like you dislike about kind of running a business, or has it kind of all just been gravy?
For the most part, it's been really gravy. I will say, like, it's definitely changed, like, playlist making for me. Like, I rarely make personal playlists anymore because I spend so much of my time making playlists for other people. But every time I go to make a playlist for someone, like, I get an order for a playlist, and I'm like, like, I have to make another playlist. Like, I'm kind of tired of this. I start getting into it, and then every time I sit back and I'm like, damn, I'm so good. Like, I'm so good at this shit, and, like, I really love it. So it's definitely, like, it has like worn me out of making playlists a bit, but once I get back into it and start making a playlist for someone, I rediscover how much I love it every time. So I definitely think it's true that when you monetize your hobbies, it changes your relationship with them.
Yeah.
I listen to music differently than I used to
Right.
because now like I'm kind of always expected to have an opinion, and it's hard to listen to music and like not automatically break it apart, analyze it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I compare it to when you go to college. Like I was a minor in philosophy and I had to read so much. I couldn't read for pleasure anymore because all I could think about was like breaking it down, taking notes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's how I feel about like the way I listen to music now. Recently, I've been being a lot more present when I'm listening to music and like trying to get back into listening as a fan and not as a like critic.
Yeah.
But yeah, it definitely has changed a lot about my relationship with music.
It's tough. I feel you on the like people coming to you for your opinion thing, and like me and Nick talked about it last season. Like people will kind of weigh how they approach the music based off of what I say about it. I'm like, I'm just one person. Like, yeah, I write for what I write for, all that. But like, if I don't like something, that doesn't mean you shouldn't like it. Like, you know, you can give it a chance. Maybe you'll grow to like it over time. But I kind of, especially when I like go into like social settings and I'm just trying to chill. I don't want to, you know, critique mixing or engineering. Like, I just want to vibe out. But everyone's like, yo, Armon, you hear the album? Or yo, like this song, what do you like? But I'm just like, I'm just here to chill. Like, I kind of want to take the journalist hat off right now. So I definitely feel you on that.
Yeah, like, y'all, you listen to that album yet? I'm like, I'll go to an event and I'll literally get like 10 people asking me like, did you listen to that album yet? And on one hand, I'm so grateful that people look to me for like my opinion, because I've always like thought that I had a really like good taste, and actually seeing people value that means the world to me. But I'm also like, when I listen to music, I listen to it very emotionally, and it's a lot about like how the music makes me feel. And sometimes I feel like I don't have the vocabulary to like give a proper review of what I think about it, because it's really more about how I feel. So sometimes I get like stressed out knowing people are going to ask me what I think about a song, and I'm listening to it trying to like formulate the words to how I'll explain it to people. Yeah.
What do you look for in the artists that you uplift? Like, are you like a story person? Are you just off of vibes? Are you like, what do you look for in someone that you're either gonna like make a post about, or the various things that you offer, like booking them for a show, or like what do you look for in artists?
I think I really look for like intention. Someone who is really making music with a purpose, like and expressing their individuality. I like music that doesn't sound like they're trying to be like somebody else. Someone who just comes and presents like a new, fresh idea that makes me feel something I've never felt before. For me, like, Pharrell said this in an interview with Rick Rubin, but he was like, if I can't like, what is it? He's like, if I don't feel anything when I'm listening to music, I don't know what I'm listening to. Yeah. And that's so real. Like, for me, the number one thing I really look for is like intention and emotional impact. Yeah. Yeah,
absolutely. I agree with that. Like, there's a lot of stuff that like I can acknowledge it sounds good, but it doesn't make me feel anything. And that's a really important distinction to make, like, because that's the music I grew up on, like Usher, like listening to You Got It Bad in my room. Like, I felt something listening to that, like listening to, you know, all the other songs on 8701, or even like listening to Lil Bow Wow. Like, I don't know, like, I guess relating to a child rapper. But, you know, nowadays, especially with the game being so saturated and a lot of people trying to do the same thing, a lot of the music, yeah, it's cool, it's good, but it doesn't evoke something from me, and that's something important. Like, I don't want to sound like an old head is like, this music sucks. I don't think music sucks, but it's just, I think there's that lack of feeling and intention. Like, people are kind of just doing what's gonna get them on Rap Caviar, or get them a #1, but what's gonna like change the world? What's gonna change how someone feels? You know?
Yes. I'm like, what's gonna make an impact? What's gonna change the world? It's so true. Like, exactly like you said, there's a lot of objectively good music out there, but it's like where like when there's actual intention behind it, you know, it's really gonna like impact music moving forward. That's when I'm like really excited about it.
Yeah. So being a viral creator for years, like throughout that process, building the platform that you have, like, have you felt like you've been embraced by the music industry? Obviously, like, artists and the people who follow you embrace you, but the music industry can be very weird towards people who build independent platforms, because we have these established structures. Like, if you're starting your own publication, there's already Rolling Stone and Vibe and all these other places where, like, you know, it's people kind of go off of the name recognition and the social proofing. So for you, like, do you feel like it's been challenging, or there have been barriers for you in building that good shit to the place that it's gotten?
Yeah, I feel there's a balance of, like, I've had such an outpouring of support from a lot of amazing people in the music industry. People have been like really excited about that good shit, supporting me, giving me amazing opportunities. I also think, like, with the rise of TikTok, being like one of the music curators that was, I think, like, kind of one of the first to start coming off and like really doing it well. There were people before me who like really started it, but like being one of those music curators that was helping to start stuff up, people were really excited to get involved in that in the music industry. So that was really fun. But yeah, at the same time, there's definitely been barriers. Like, people definitely want to take advantage of you and your platform, and will just like bother the hell out of you if you don't post this song they want you to post. Like, they will it's crazy. But yeah, and also just like, it's definitely being a woman in the music space, especially talking a lot about like hip hop music, like people get real mad about what I have to say.
Yeah.
Everyone is entitled to their opinion, and I also do not know everything. Like I really just talk about like what the music makes me feel like.
Yeah.
But I've had a lot of times where, you know, I'm posting certain videos and people are just saying the meanest, most terrible things. And I know people tear me up on Reddit. Like I never go on Reddit and search my name because I'm scared, but people tell me that there's some really crazy shit about me on Reddit.
They are lethal on Reddit. I haven't seen anything about you, but I just know in general, like when you reach a certain point, the Reddit community is nuts. So
Yeah.
I can unfortunately imagine, but yeah, stay off of there.
Yeah.
Definitely stay off
And
of there.
I really just try to focus on the positives. Like, you know, there's many barriers out there, many people who may not like me, but I really just try to focus my vision on who is fucking with me, who is supporting me, and being grateful for that. And that is the only thing I need to concern my energy with.
Yeah. So I love the mission of that good shit, like elevating artists who deserve that platform. But you've also had the opportunity to be recognized by some big platforms and interview some big artists, Smino, JID, Earth Gang. How did those come together? Was it like a natural social media thing? Was it like teams, you know, the email pitching process? Like how did those things come together for you?
Yeah, so the Earth Gang thing was like that was like my first biggest opportunity was when Earth Gang asked me to come on their like mini album listening tour with them.
That's
It was
fire.
like the Ghetto Gods album got pushed back like a month or something, and so they went on 7 free shows to play the album for their fans. And that was David Peters. Shout out David Peters. He works with Since the 80s, their management company, and he just found me on TikTok, reached out, and asked if I wanted to come. Like I just got a call and they were like, you want to come on tour with Earth Gang? So like they reached out to me and I was so surprised. Dreamville, like their social media had been showing love. Earth Gang had reposted me before. So they'd just been tapped in for a long time. So that first opportunity was really them just like reaching out and bringing me along for the ride and putting trust in me. I think I might have been the first like music TikToker to be like brought on a tour. So that just felt like really cool and special.
That's fire.
Yeah, it was really dope. And then after that, JID was my friend at Interscope invited me to JID's release party. And then they were like trying to set up the interview, but like the night was really crazy. Obviously, he was doing a bunch of shit. So I was like ready to give up on getting the interview. And then my other friend who runs that really cool TikTok page, The People Gallery, where they go out and like look at people's fits. He was there and he came up to me and he was like, Annabelle, like if you don't make it happen, like no one else will. Like you have to go up there and you have to like make that shit happen. So I walked up to JID and I was just like, can we please do this interview? And we made it happen. And it's kind of the same thing for Smino. Like I was at the show because of like JID and Jordan Ward's team. They got me into the show. Shout out to them, like best show ever. And Smino's team was like trying to help me get the interview, but I also like I made that shit happen. Like I just stood in the back by the green room all night and I was like, hey Smino, like can we please do an interview? And we got that to happen. So it's a good mix of like people reaching out and giving me the opportunity, but me also like taking the initiative to like really get in there and do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, you gotta have that go-getter mentality. Like, you know, some people will go to like the listening parties and stuff and just vibe out, chill, you know, the open bar and the food is great. Like it is great. Hearing the music is great, but there is a lot of networking and building opportunities that you can do. And it's like sometimes you don't like I know when I go to listening parties, sometimes I don't always want to like be in work mode. I kind of just want to chill. But, you know, if you are like an upcoming, you know, content creator, journalist, whatever, like there's a lot that you can make happen in those things. And yeah, you can go to a show and pretend that you have a pass to get into a certain place and then get an interview out of that. Like I know a lot of people who have done that. So yeah, there's opportunity there. You gotta kind of get clever with it and creative. But that's awesome for you. And obviously getting covered in Forbes and Rolling Stone, like an independent music platform, getting covered by Forbes and Rolling Stone. How did that feel like to get hit up? Like, hey, we want to talk to you, or we want to do this. Like, how did that feel?
Bro, that felt so unreal. Like the imposter syndrome was actually insane. Like I had been doing this for like a little over a year and then Forbes reached out to me and I'm like, what are you even talking about right now? But shout out to Riley Van Stewart. That's my friend who interviewed me for Forbes. He is one of the most prolific, incredible writers. Like he does these super gorgeous pieces on different artists. Like I remember he did a piece with Umi a couple months ago and it's just like one of the most beautiful pieces of writing I've ever read. So he met up with me and we just had a conversation and built a friendship like over coffee. And then that's what went into Forbes. And I just felt so blessed. It felt so surreal. Like, and Rolling Stone was it was a feature on this app called Discs. Shout out to the good people at Discs. But they're like a really cool music discovery app that was featured in Rolling Stone. And they interviewed me as one of the curators who kind of like helped push Discs on social media and was just talking about like the curator perspective. But for both of those things, I just felt like so incredibly blessed to be included, especially just like as such a big music fan. Like I've always felt like music and the music industry was this whole thing that was bigger than me and like that I wasn't worthy of being a part of it. Like, and to just be involved in these conversations and put in these publications was the coolest opportunity ever. And I'm so, so grateful.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously you've gotten to have FaceTime, like get in person with these artists and with, you know, various people in the industry. I met you at one of your shows in April last year. I believe it was a Sunday Sound show, I believe.
It was like we tried to bring our show Sunday Sounds to New York at a little bar. Like the Sunday Sounds in New York itself didn't really work out, but that particular show was really fun.
I enjoyed it. And I met a lot of really good people. But like, how's it felt to take your internet platform and be someone who people are recognizing in person and kind of able to bring that community together?
It has been so cool. Like the live events are definitely my favorite aspect of what we do with That Good Shit because I love seeing the community come together. I love how like safe and loving and warm it feels. Like all of our events are just full of like the dopest people who really, really appreciate good music.
Yeah.
And especially now being able to have these events be also where like really dope artists pull up, if not to perform, like just to hang. Like Jordan Ward really just be coming to Sunday Sounds and like hanging out in the back. And it's really cool. I think like I've built That Good Shit really intentionally for people to know that it's a safe space. It is not about clout. It is not about like I don't know. It's like really just about like the good music. And so whether it's the live events or like getting an interview with the artist I really look up to, like there's the work of putting the event together. There's the work of like asking an artist for an interview, but there's it's mostly the behind the scenes work of really meticulously curating a platform where people feel safe and excited to be involved.
Yeah. I was gonna ask like how difficult that's been, like putting shows together. We put together our event a couple years ago, and we did a lot of event planning in college too. And it's you go through a lot of hell behind the scenes to put together the great thing that people see, and it'll feel so relieving to get it done. But those weeks leading up and all the details and paperwork and money and all that, like it's a lot. So for you, like what's that process? Especially finding venues in New York. Like New York is huge, but like I personally don't know like how difficult it is to secure certain places. So I would love to hear.
Yeah, when I started throwing events, like my first couple events were all collaborations. So I've always like from the beginning worked with people, and that's been really helpful for me. Like when I'm planning an event and I don't know what I'm doing, to be able to go to someone and be like, I don't know how this works. Can you help me? So like my first couple events were in LA when I lived there, and I worked a lot with Green Tea Studios, which we have our Sunday Sounds events that we're still doing today. So like when I first started off the event process, I was working with them. Neither of us had any idea what we were doing, but I'm really good at curating lineups. They're really good on like the business side, so we just kind of like held each other up and made it happen. And then moving to New York, like booking shows in New York is really hard because there's a lot of stuff going on every night. Like promoting a show and filling a room can be really, really hard. But I keep telling myself, like, if you put a good lineup together, people will come. So I always like focus on putting together a really amazing lineup first, and then using my skills with social media to promote the hell out of it. The business side is what I am not really great with still. Like I'm still like learning how to make all of that happen. Still learning how to like financially put on a show that doesn't make me like lose money. But that's something I'm learning and getting better at. And people come to my shows and they praise like everything looks amazing and goes perfectly. I still feel like I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm trying my best, and people being supportive and loving the shows just makes me so happy. And I can say like over the past year and a half, maybe like year of doing shows, I feel like I've grown a lot as an event organizer, and I still got a very long way to go.
Absolutely. And I know you manage some artists too. Like how did you arrive at, okay, I have this platform, I'm elevating artists, I'm putting shows on, but I kind of want to step into management too. Like, well, what was that thought process and decision-making process like?
Yeah, so I really didn't think I was going to get into management. Like I really was like, this is not for me. But I was working at the time like right when I started managing, I was working at Venice Music. They're like a really, really dope distribution company. Shout out to Venice.
You were a services intern.
Yeah, I was a services intern at Venice, and they did these panels like weekly or bi-weekly for all of the interns, and they'd bring on different staff members to speak on different topics on working in the music industry. And they had a panel about women in management. So there were some really dope managers on this panel, and we got to ask them questions about management. And right after I went to that virtual panel, I was feeling just so inspired by these female managers. I was like, okay, like hearing it from their perspective, managing sounds really dope. Right after that, like the universe planned it. I found this kid named Diz through TikTok because he commented on one of my videos. He was like, listen to my music. And I felt like doing it. So I listened to it and I was immediately blown away. And I had just never felt impacted by like an artist's music like that.
Yeah.
And so I hit him up and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I want to be a manager. So like if you're down to ride with me, I'm going to learn how to manage and I would love to do it with you. And so that's how that started. I've been managing Diz for like a year and a half now, I'd say. And it's been going really well. That's the only artist I manage. That's the only artist I plan on managing. I don't know if I plan on doing much more management with other artists, at least for now. But Diz is such a special artist. We work really well together and we're really good friends. So yeah, it's been really fun.
And what have you felt like management? Obviously you're very skilled in the various things that you do. What have you felt like your adjustment process has been to go from just like, all right, like I'm putting people onto music to I'm really overseeing someone's career, you know, helping them with various moving parts? Like what's that adjustment process been like for you?
It's just been learning a lot of new skills that I had no experience with before. Like when I first started managing, I made it clear to Diz, like my skills are like marketing and social media and I don't really know how to do anything else. But he's really smart and he goes to Berklee College of Music.
Wow.
So he knew a lot about how the music industry worked already and helped me learn. And as I was growing as a manager, I surrounded myself with a bunch of people who I thought were really skilled managers. And I was just asking a lot of questions. And I still do that, like always asking questions. And yeah, I've just picked up little skills along the way. Like I slowly learned how to pitch and I slowly learned like what a distribution company is. And I learned how to do splits and I learned how to plan a rollout. And it's just little skills along the way. Every time Diz would drop music, I would learn something new, you know, helping him book shows. We're like traveling to do shows together now. So yeah, it's just been like kind of like we talked about earlier, patience, pacing myself, not expecting myself to know everything right away. And luckily, Diz and I both have the perspective where we really just focus on the music first and we really just care about the music being good and people caring. It's like we're not trying to get on the Billboard charts right away, you know? And so, yeah, I've just been learning. It's been a beautiful experience.
Yeah, and I've seen some pics of you behind the boards too. You DJ.
I'm learning to DJ. I'm very much a beginner. I don't want to offend like the real DJs. Like I'm still like I don't produce my own music or my own like remixes yet. But yes, I'm learning how to DJ.
Nice. It's fun. I've tried myself. I've virtual DJ downloaded. It's been a process. Like maybe in like a few years I'll lock it down. But I can do a couple cool transitions here and there.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's really fun because like I'm sure you're the friend who whenever you go to the kickbacks or the get-togethers, it's like yo jump on the aux.
Yeah. That's literally what I was about to say. Like, I'm always the one on aux, like, since high school. Like, I walk into the room, I'm the one on aux, no matter what. And so being able to kind of, like, elevate that and throw in some transitions and actually be able to, like, be up in front of, like, a whole party or on a stage for a show and just being able to get people excited and control the energy in the room that way is really, really fun.
Absolutely. Where do you want to take that good shit from here? You're doing a lot of great work, very recognized platform. Like your name comes up, like with just random people I talk to, like your name comes up. Like people know you. You out here doing your thing. Where do you want to take that good shit next?
It is such a mystery to me where that good shit is going to go, and I'm really excited about that. I feel like there is so much potential in that good shit. I know that right now my main focuses with that good shit are building a team and being able to have that good shit be active in multiple cities, putting together showcase events and continuing to build community. I just see that good shit being like a widely recognized platform where anything we do, whether it be, you know, a show, whether it be an interview, merch, it's going to be like of the highest quality. It's going to put you onto something new that you've never experienced before. And I really look up to platforms like Soulection, who've done a really amazing job of building a community where like you know what they're about, you know what their values are. all of their events are turnt. All of the music they work with is dope. So I kind of just want to be on that similar level. But we'll see what we get into. It's really a mystery, but just know it's some good shit.
Well played. What's your advice that you would give to someone trying to build a content creation platform? Because social media is, again, it's a lot of people trying to do what we do as well. Like a lot of content creators, whether it's music, whether it's whatever, a lot of people do reviews, a lot of people make playlists. Like, how can you make yourself stand out?
Yeah. I mean, everyone says it, but like, be yourself. It's really true.
Yeah.
Just like be yourself, be authentic. Like in the moments where you cringe at yourself, those are the moments that are going to make you shine. Because like that's what sets you apart from other people.
Yeah.
You know, I've had so many videos where I'm like, I'm not going to post this. Like it's cringe. And those are the videos that blow up because they show like the side of you that makes you who you are.
Yeah.
You know, also definitely consistency. Like you really do have to work hard. And something I've been learning recently, like my TikTok has been kind of like, not doing so great lately, and I've been just kind of like analyzing my content and how I can, you know, take it from here. And it's really all about providing value.
Yeah.
Like you need to provide value to people. Like you can be cute, you can be funny, you know, but like you really just you need to be able to provide value to people. Like what's gonna make people favorite your video? What's gonna make people share your video with someone else and be like, oh, you should check them out.
Yeah.
Just really focus on what value can you provide that no one else is doing.
I like that. In the spirit of Women's History Month, and you mentioned a lot of women that you've met and worked with. So who are some women you would want to highlight? Like whether they're dope content creators, dope people in music, or even outside of music. Like who are some women that just you want to show some love to?
Oh my gosh, there's so many incredible women in my life. I can't even begin. First of all, I gotta shout out like our staff writer at That Good Shit, Kat, is one of the most incredible writers. She writes the most in-depth album reviews, and she's like our first official writer we've brought on for That Good Shit.
Nice.
So big shout out to Kat. She's a great DJ as well. Who else? I mean, all of the like women content creators around me who are doing dope stuff, like Brooks from Soul, Sugar Joint is really fire. Elsie, who's another really dope content creator. I love her. I have a lot of great like female friends in the music industry who are killing shit. Like my friend Remy, who works with 1824, like absolute goat. My friend Sam, who works with 1824, she's amazing. Who else? Like, I'm surrounded by so many amazing women who are artists, like my friend Really Real, my friend Linda Diaz, so amazing. There's so many amazing women around me. If I didn't mention you, you know who you are. But I'm just so grateful for like every woman around me supporting me.
That's amazing. I know by the time the listeners hear this, your pop-up show in LA will have already happened. But is there anything that our listeners, or the audience, your audience can look forward to in the coming months? Anything you want to promote?
Yeah, well, the pop-up show will have happened, but the pop-up show is going to be really fun, and we have a secret headliner, so that'll be cool.
I saw that. I was like, oh, secret. Oh,
Yeah,
Can't wait to see who that is.
Yeah. We have our next Sunday Sounds show coming on March 26th in LA.
Okay.
It's a huge music festival. Well, by my standards, huge. Usually like around 600 people, which is pretty big.
That's a good turnout.
Yeah,
People really underrate, like, even getting like 100 people in a room is a big deal. So 600 that's a good turnout.
Yeah, so our next Sunday Sounds show is coming March 26th. We're about to announce that in a couple of days, but really dope, like, underground music festival. We have a show coming up March 22nd in New York with Be Kool-Aid, which is Pink Sifu and Ali on tour for their new album. So that'll be really fun. Planning another show in April. That'll hopefully be announced somewhat soon. Lots of exciting interviews as well. That Good Shit is working on an interview series in collaboration with Pigeons and Planes right now.
Nice.
We actually just shot the first one this morning with David, so that was really exciting. They're called the Pigeon Shit interviews because it's Pigeons and Planes and That Good Shit. So look forward to those. Those will be really fun.
That's awesome. What is one thing that you would change about the music industry?
One thing I would change about the music industry. That's a really great question. I feel like I'm still learning about the music industry. I still feel like a beginner. I think I would love to see more women in roles of power. And I would like to see like more enthusiasm. That's what it is. I'd like to see more unbridled enthusiasm because I'm tired of being in rooms where everyone just has like a straight face. I remember I had the opportunity to go listen to 070 Shake's new album in the studio with her, and favorite album of last year. Like, so
was
incredible.
really good.
And everyone in the room listening, love to everyone, like, not trying to take shots at anyone or anything, but everyone in the room just had, like, a blank face the whole time. Like, no one was jumping around. No one was excited. And I was in there, like, I could explode. Like, I wanted to dance. And I'm in a lot of rooms where people just try to act, like, too cool. And I think that just gets in the way of, like, the connection we could be having with each other.
Absolutely.
Because when you're in a room full of people who work in music, that is, like, so many passionate people. But everyone just kind of has this vibe where they, like, are guarded. So I would just like to change the way people act in those rooms. Like, let's be excited, let's giggle, let's get silly, and have a good time.
Yeah, Tyler, the Creator, had this quote he said in a Hot 97 interview. He's like, if you're too cool, you're gonna freeze.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, you gotta thaw out, like, be cool, be warm with people. Like, that's music. That's what I love about music. It's this universal language. Like, I love Bad Bunny. I know Spanish well. I don't know it that well to where I could translate his songs, but just being in a room with people who love the same song as you and singing along to it, it's just like you feel connected to them, like that community aspect. That's my favorite part of music, is connecting with people, speaking the same language.
Yep.
Even if you don't know the actual same languages. So I completely agree with that. I think there are a lot of people who kind of get into it, and I myself have to, like, try to fight it sometimes too, because I've had some great opportunities. I get to meet some really cool people, and it's like, you know, you kind of want to act like you've been there before, but at the same time, it's like, shit is exciting. Like, a lot of fun stuff happens. Like, being on Zoom with a really legendary producer, or being in a green room with a dope artist, like, you kind of just, the kid in you is like, yo, you're here, like, this is great, like, so it's a tough balance, because you obviously don't want to be, like, too crazy, but this shit is exciting. Like, we work in a really exciting field. Like, there's a lot of shitty aspects to it, but there's a lot of great stuff to it. So
it's definitely about finding a balance. I think balance is the perfect word. Like, show your enthusiasm, let people know you're excited. Don't be, like, weird, you know, don't get, like, too crazy, but you know, like, don't be afraid to show that you're excited and happy to be there.
Yeah, absolutely, because I think, and I talk about this a lot, like, I really value the humanity of people, and people lose sight of the fact that we're all humans. Whether you're an A&R, an engineer, a publicist, a photographer, you're a human first, and humans connect with humans. You want to work with good people. It doesn't matter how talented you are. Like, I want to work with a good person. I want to connect with a good person. And so just by, like, valuing the humanity in someone else, like, you can really get something out of that. So I'm really big on that. Like, before I try not to, like, ask for favors a lot, but I'd literally just, like, in the room just talking to people and introduce myself to people, asking them about things outside of music, like shit like that, which is a good transition. What do you do outside of music? Are you a video gamer? Are you you said you biked here. Like, are you, like, a competitive biker, or is it just a hobby? Like, what does Annabelle do outside of all the content creation and shows and all that?
Yeah, I'm an avid city biker.
Okay.
So I bike everywhere. I'm really into just, like, exercise. So I run, I go to the gym. I'm really into, like, cooking and just, like, health and wellness, really big into that. I wake up at, like, 5 or 6 a.m. a lot of the time. Like, I'm very into, like, morning routines. What else? Like, I'm getting back into reading right now, so I'm really enjoying, like, reading. And I'm from, like, I grew up by the beach, so I'm really into, like, scuba diving and surfing and, like, swimming and water sports. And I am a Pisces, so anything involving water, like swimming, that is my favorite.
Nice, awesome. And lastly, I want you to put us on to some artists that we should be listening to. So, Annabelle, put us on. Tell us who the street should be listening to.
Let me know when to stop, because I can go on forever.
Hey, the floor is yours.
Y'all need to listen to 454. Like, y'all really need, like, Fast Tracks 3, such a crazy album. Really love 454. He's got, like, the Blonded cosign, so, you know, like, it's really real. We love 454. Y'all heard that Liv song earlier, but Liv's new album, Girl in the Half Pearl, is absolutely superb, really incredible artist. Listen to Swami Sound, aka the father of NYC garage, like, really taking, like, UK garage and blending it with, like, hip hop and R&B in, like, really cool, innovative ways. Really, really beautiful work with Swami Sound. Listen to Diz, the artist I manage, like, really incredible jazz musician, goes to Berklee College of Music, plays saxophone, produces and raps over that shit, and he's just absolutely prolific. I love what he's doing. Who else? Listen to Tommy Richman. Have you listened to Tommy Richman before?
I don't think so.
Tommy Richman is really, like, the future of music. That kid's like a chameleon. He can really do anything. Shout out Tommy Richman.
Is it like is it Rich, like Richmond, or Richman?
M-A-N.
M-A-N,
R-I-C-H-M-A-n. Love him. My name isn't J-Mac. He has an album coming soon. Really love him. Those are some, but there are many, many more. And if you want to check out all the artists I'm listening to, I have a playlist on that good shit Spotify called Small Artists, Big Sounds. That's updated regularly with all of the dope small artists we are listening to.
Amazing. Well, yeah, that's a perfect transition. Tell the people where to find you, where to follow you, all that good stuff. That good shit rather. Anything you want to promote.
Yeah. You can find me on Instagram at Annabelle Kline with 2 E's. You can find That Good Shit on Instagram at ThatGoodSHT. You can check us out at thatgoodshitmusic.com. I'm also on TikTok at Annabelle Kline with 2 E's. That's pretty much everywhere you can find me. I'm on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter. I'm out there. Just find me.
Did you have to make it Kline with 2 E's because the name was taken already, or?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
And my full name is actually Annabelle Kleinzillis. I have a hyphenated last name, but all of my usernames are Annabelle Kline.
Mm-hmm.
But Annabelle Kleinzillis is just a really long username.
Yeah.
So, but it's Annabelle Kline with 2 E's because Annabelle Kline was taken.
Gotcha. Well, amazing. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Congrats on everything that you're doing. Very inspiring as an independent platform to see an independent platform reach the heights that you've reached. You're doing a lot of things that we as a show would like to do. So I might be coming to you for advice outside of this. But yeah, we kicked off Women's History Month with Annabelle Kline, giving you that good shit. So of course, tap into everything that she's doing. Follow us at Stay Busy Pod. Subscribe to Patreon, patreon.com/StayBusyPod. Love women this month. Cash app them. Buy them a bagel, some coffee.
Yeah.
Pay for their city bike. There's so many things you could do for the ladies. But most importantly, make sure that you stay safe, stay humble, and stay busy.
Baby girl, how you feeling? I've been out in the world, staying busy, taking time, getting right if you miss me. I've been out in the world, staying busy.
Mondays 9 a.m. Party with the gang. Every week, tell a friend. Busy over everything. Busy boys, how they call now? Ain't you heard? Got the vibes. They put you on. Got the slides. I'm the size. Running dog. No, we hold it down.
Baby girl, how you feeling? I've been out in the world, staying busy, taking time, getting right if you miss me. I've been out in the world, staying busy.